respected Dr. Satyanathan, Dr. Tirunavukarasu, Mr. Akhileshwar, Vandana, and distinguished members in the audience. We have assembled here for 3 days national program, national seminar on perspectives on mental illness in India. I am very happy to be here to address this gathering. Very particularly very happy because you have organized 3 days program to discuss 3 important areas. Today we are going to discuss about access, to what extent facilities are available to our people in our country. It's a very, very important area. And we are going to discuss about homeless persons, people who are wandering here and there. What is our strategy? What should be done to improve that lot? That is tomorrow we are going to discuss. And third day we are going to discuss about the legal framework, sensitizing the judiciary and people connected with that. I think these 3 are very, very significant areas as far as mental health in our country is concerned. And I am also very happy that eminent people in our country, they are going to address all the 3 days. It's a very, very important occasion, and I am very confident that good suggestions will emerge in this 3 days seminar. Mental health is always a very exciting area. Exciting in the sense, very interesting, and we need to do a lot of things in mental health. You do anything, I think still needs will continue in this mental health sector. I don't think anybody will get satisfaction, because the problem is such that millions of people suffer all over the world as far as mental health is concerned. As Dr. Tirunavukarasu mentioned, it's very difficult to define who is a mentally healthy person, who is not. All of us suffer. If you are angry in an office, I think you are a mental patient at that time. If a parent shouts at the children unnecessarily, the parent becomes a mental patient. Not only he is a mental patient, he is also making the children to become mental patients. That is why today we find large number of suicides in our country. India and China are equally competing with each other to become the countries with the topmost suicide numbers, largest suicide numbers. More than 1,20,000 people commit suicide in our country. Equal number is the deaths in road accidents. One can imagine the type of emotional situations in the country. One can imagine the type of depressions, the type of other psychiatric difficulties our people undergo. Such a huge number commit suicide. The other day I was going through newspaper. They were reporting about 2 suicide issues, the Tamil newspaper. One is a daughter committing suicide. Immediately after the father shouted at her for coming late to the house. Obviously she went for a movie with her friends and she came home late. So father, I think father has a right to shout at the child. Father has a right to ask the child. The child immediately went inside and she was found hanging next day morning. Second important incident quoted in the same newspaper, same column is one IT staff, IT professional. Her ambition is to become an IAS officer. She had nurtured that ambition for a long time. But she could become an IT professional, very successful IT professional. Got married. She asked for permission to write the examination from her husband. Husband said, no, at this stage there is no need, don't strain yourself. We are very comfortable. Let us lead a very comfortable life. Both are earning so much. Why do you want to stress yourself again writing examination? Let us be contented with this job. The wife, unable to bear that, unable to see that she is not able to realize her dream, she committed suicide. These are the instances which are reported on a day-to-day basis. Every day we read such reports. So the number of people committing suicides is on the increase. Had proper counseling been given to these people, I think they would not have committed suicide. In our country alone, more than 1,20,000 people commit suicide. When compared to the international figure, it is more than 10%. So such a large number of deaths avoidable. More than 50-60% of those who commit suicide, had proper counseling been given, they would not have committed suicide. They would not have lost their life. That is the situation. In such a scenario, it is very difficult to say who is healthy, who is not healthy as far as mental illness is concerned. All of us are subjects in this issue. That is why huge numbers. In India alone, I think 6% prevalence. 1% of the public, they suffer serious illness requiring institutional intervention. Institutional intervention means they should be admitted as inpatients. That means 1 crore people should be admitted in hospitals in India. But what is the number of beds we have? It is only 44 hospitals, only 20,000 beds. Highly inadequate. I think our Institute of Mental Health is the oldest in the country, more than 200 years old. It's located in a good place, very good buildings, large number of patients. I was asking Dr. Satyanathan how many persons are staying there. Today, 1,550 people are staying there. More than 500 people are staying there for more than 20 years. I asked him how long they will stay. He says they will stay till their death, because they have no other place to go. People admit them in the mental hospital and they think mental hospital will take care of them. They forget. They don't want to take them back. Interesting phenomenon is families with mental illness. Once they identify a patient, they send the patient to the hospital and they want to forget. There is no follow-up, they don't come and see regularly. They don't intend to take them back. That is why we find more than 500 persons staying for more than 20 years in our Institute of Mental Health. And once a person enters a mental hospital, I think we all presume that the patient should be cured by all means. Patient should go back, like in other hospitals. That is not the case in our mental hospital. That will be the situation elsewhere in the country also. So that is why our institutional setup is not ideal for treatment of mental illness. Once you come, you are a patient. You continue to be there. Unless we take extraordinary interest to treat a particular person using all methods possible, I don't think he will come out of this mental sickness. That is why there is a need to revamp our entire mental care at the tertiary level treatment procedures. There is definitely a great need. We should devise mechanisms. We should find out it's not sufficient. Mental patient is that you give him antidepressants, make him sleep, calm down, and you allow him to continue in the same situation for years. It is not the situation. We should try to find out mechanisms to cure a patient in the mental hospital, and we should find a mechanism to send them out of the hospital as early as possible. The more the days they stay, I think more mentally sick they become. We have to find out a solution for this particular problem. For this, I think change in attitude of the public is very, very important. Today stigma is there, and once the stigma sets in, then people want to forget about the patient. Even family members, they dump the patient. It's very surprising to find families bringing a mentally deranged person or even a old person, bringing them to places like Kanyakumari and leave them. They want to leave them and go back home. Such type of situations are there. That is why in pilgrimages and all you find lot of people wandering here and there. People dump them. They don't want them to come back to their house. Such a type of situation is there because of